welcome back to another amazing mind from the Web3 decentralized space. We have Marcello from SingularityDAO today, and we're going to be delving into what's happening with the DAO, AI, Web3, decentralization, and a whole lot more. First of all, welcome. Is this your first AIBC summit?
Thank you so much, Wesley. No, this is actually my fourth AIBC summit. Yes,
Oh, okay.
So I'm a veteran. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. So the three in Dubai and somewhere else, or
yeah. So the very first one was actually Malta when John McAfee was there.
Okay, so 2019.
2019, yes. And Ben Gorzel, who's the CEO of Singularity Night and the founder, and my co-founder in SingularityDAO, was also there. And we brought Sophia the robot. So Ben is also known to be the creator of the mind of Sophia the robot. So it was a big show. It was a great event. Very few people remember that AIBC stands for Artificial Intelligence and Blockchain.
Exactly.
And Singularity Night kind of pioneered the field of artificial intelligence and blockchain. So that's why we are such a veteran in this event.
I remember that event very, very particular. Being based in Malta, it was, in fact, before AIBC, it was the Malta Blockchain Summit back then. And they brought in the AI element, and all of a sudden things got exciting, but nobody quite knew. Everybody thought it was just AI was simply just Sophia the robot at the moment. But you guys went a little bit further and decided to create SingularityDAO.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's very interesting. So the transition, from what happened in 2019 with Singularity, so first of all, Singularity Night started in 2017, and I was part of the funding team. It was an incredible adventure. It was very exciting. And then in 2021, I went on and fund SingularityDAO within Singularity Night family and ecosystem. So we became the very first spin-off of the Singularity Night ecosystem, tackling the vertical of decentralized finance. Okay. What is interesting about what you were saying about AIBC and the excitement about artificial intelligence? So, artificial intelligence has been hot it's been on the making for the past 25 years, roughly. Ben Gorzel has been working on it since the very beginning. However, we had spike of attentions in artificial intelligence to a point where in the 90s especially there was a so-called AI winter, right? Where there was a lot of skepticism about what AI could actually be used for. I think right now, since the beginning of the year, we're actually running into a new AI summer. There's a lot of excitement.
Oh, indeed.
It's incredible. And the excitement mostly comes from the release of these generative language models, such as ChatGPT by OpenAI, by Google entering the competition. And what is also quite interesting is that Microsoft hasn't been cool for the past 20 years, right?
Yep.
I mean, if you were using Windows back in the day, if you were associating yourself with that kind of image, it wasn't cool. But now, thanks to artificial intelligence, they're regaining that cool factor. With ChatGPT, people can actually play. They can see artificial intelligence. So the whole purpose of Sophia the robot was to give a human interface to artificial intelligence. People could actually talk and interact with Sophia as if it was a human. Now, with ChatGPT, I think we're bringing it to the next level. People are feeling it.
That's it.
You can talk, you can chat with artificial intelligence. And this has brought so much new excitement to the industry. And we, as operator in the industry, we are very excited to see all this attention coming up. And we are also excited to be operating in the field of decentralized artificial intelligence. Why? Because people start to raise concerns and questions about how their data are used.
Okay.
When you interact with ChatGPT, right? I mean, you're essentially training a language model.
Of course.
Right? Who's going to benefit from it? Who's going to monetize it? Microsoft, Google, big tech corporations. Of course. So, the old say, if you don't pay for the product, then you are the product, right? So in this case, that's very true. With blockchain, we are able to give ownership of their data to the users, right? So you can choose what to do with your data. You can be rewarded with tokens, with crypto, from the data that you want to share, so on and so forth. So the new AI narrative from big centralized corporation has also brought a lot of attention to us that we're playing in the decentralized AI field.
Fantastic. So do you guys have a language model similar to what's happening with ChatGPT? And is there something soon that people can start playing with?
Well, funny enough, there's right here, I met for the first time in person Dr. 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐬𝐬, who is the leading scientist at Singularity Night. He leads a team that is by far the most advanced AGI team in the world, creating artificial general intelligence. They are creating something way more sophisticated than the current language models that basically encompass cognitive reasoning, visual models, and so on. So it's very complex. I can't really describe it. You should have 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐬𝐬.
No, the fact that you said cognitive reasoning, it's one of the tests I gave ChatGPT very recently was just actually some basic math, which it failed on. Which I found was quite interesting because I thought it would have been one of the basics within it, and it isn't the actual case. So very interesting that you're working on that. And another area which I'm sort of involved in, I'm a big arts fanatic, so I do fund the arts quite frequently, and I fund a comedy company. So back in December, we were actually playing with ChatGPT just to see if it could write any comedy for us. And my God, did it miserably fail. Is there any works in the sort of creative space that is happening with Singularity Net?
Well, Singularity Net is more focusing on creating the AGI model, so an artificial intelligence that can think and act like a human brain, not quite sentient and conscious. Okay. I mean, we still need to understand what consciousness and sentiousness means. In the case of ChatGPT, you brought some really good examples because what these language models do, it's guessing the best answer, right? So from the plethora of text that they analyze, from the large amount of information that they have, but what they do is just guessing the best answer. So it's still very far from be creative as a human being. I'm gonna tell you something else. In April 2021, the talk of the market were NFTs.
Yes.
NFTs were very hot. I happened to have a friend who was an investor in crypto and also a skilled artist, but kind of never did anything. It was just a passion project for him. And then I decided to do my portrait. And he painted my portrait, Ben Gorsa's portrait, David Hanson, who's the actual manufacturer of Sophia, portrait. And he showed it to me. And I'm like, whoa, these are cool. Why don't we do something with AI? So we came out with the idea of feeding a number of images coming from all different era of art, of human art, into a neural network, into the neural network of Sophia the robot.
Okay.
So this particular algorithm re-elaborate all of these images on top of my portrait, Ben's portrait, and David's portrait. Then Sophia the robot painted them. Oh, and then what we did, we sold it as an NFT. And the whole collection sold for $1.6 million.
Oh, wow.
And then my specific portrait, which was the bestseller, by the way, went on sale for $12 million, imagine. And that was the very first NFT, AI NFT, or NFT created by an AI, sold in the market as an NFT. And that was 2021, a very exciting experience. But then, that made me think, like, what is creativity? Can AI be creative? Where does creativity come from? So I started to interview a number of artists to understand where creativity was coming from according to them. And it can come from the divine, it can come from human experience. So can AI be creative? What do you think?
I'm not sure. I think AI needs to believe a little bit in chance. is one of the things. At least in my life, when I've always seen creativity, it's always been just seeing two things unrelated, but you just picture them working together, and you try. In fact, a lot of creativity comes through trial and error. And I'm not sure if AI's got to the point where it's going to be trying out things just for the heck of it. But it's going to be very interesting. Now, regarding the DAO itself and decentralized finance and the DAO, what have you guys been experiencing as regards? I mean, we've gone into this a bit of fear following the whole FTX thing, which is already saying, okay, we should be decentralizing everything. But then there are people like saying, okay, but then what happens if these decentralized algorithms, which are maybe programmed by AI, start trading away and start trading down and then crash the market again? Has there been any sort of negative feedback from your community and the DAO since the whole FTX scandal?
Well, so when I just gave a talk on stage talking about how we can create, we can use artificial intelligence to create a decentralized, inclusive financial ecosystem. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about decentralization, I basically see three main fields. One is the non-custodial aspect, so the decentralized aspect, mm-hmm. right? So when you mention FTX crash, but we can also talk about Celsius or Silvergate, mm-hmm. all these were centralized players. Yeah. So that means that well, first of all, there was a person or a group of people making decisions. Yeah. So there is not a DAO, there is not mm-hmm. a community that can vet the decisions. There is not a transparent element. These mm-hmm. people were doing the hell they wanted, right? Yeah. In DAOs, you actually have the community participating. So you eliminate that single point of mm-hmm. failure element, first of all. Second element is the non-custodial aspect. Mm-hmm. So when you were using FTX, or when you're using Binance, effectively you're sending your funds through them, yeah, right. So if they disappear, your funds are gone. That's it. Unless somebody comes and bails you out, yeah. right? U.S. government. Exactly. But technically, they're gone. Yeah. If you use a decentralized system like we do at SingularityDAO, mm-hmm. you're always in charge of your funds, not your keys, not your crypto. So even if the company disappears tomorrow, mm-hmm. you can always access your funds through the blockchain. They're locked into a smart contract. Mm-hmm. So this is an extremely important element. Mm-hmm. Now, mentioning what happened recently with the USDC DPEG, there was a clear failure of the traditional finance ecosystem mm-hmm. that was bringing down crypto. Yes. I think it was basically the first time that happened mm-hmm. So clearly and so evidently. Singularity Net is working at also a new stablecoin, an algorithmic stablecoin that is based and collateralized by some indexes that move really slowly. Okay. I cannot comment too much on that project because I haven't followed that much, but within the Singularity ecosystem, we are thinking about how to create the next stable coin powered by artificial intelligence. So when in Singularity DAO, what we are doing and the long-term mission is to create the first artificial intelligence completely managed portfolios of crypto or completely managed wealth management platform. Apologies for the repetition. So one day we're going to have an AI that is able to combine many different signals coming from artificial intelligence or predictive analytics or on-chain analysis. So able to do third-party risk management, assessment, almost live. Mm-hmm. So for example, we're going to have an AI that is able to understand, okay, the next meme coin is buzzing on social media, okay? Let's see what's the sentiment around it. Perhaps it's positive, perhaps it's negative. Perhaps it's negative, but we should invest anyway, or we should optimize. Then we can assess what the health of that protocol is through artificial intelligence. We can automate due diligence process. So this AI will be able to do a thorough due diligence and thorough investigation on whether to potentially allocate some fund to some project. So that's the long-term vision.
But there still will be some element of, how should I say, human input when it comes down to it, because it will give it an ultimate objective, i.e. the ultimate objective is to make money, or the ultimate objective is to benefit the environment, or whatever it may be. Those objectives will still be set by the DAO itself, so to speak. Okay.
In our case, that would be the maximization of profit for the DAO participants in this case. Interestingly, we can use reinforcement learning approach. So like a swarm of agents collaborating to each other and making investment decisions, and with a system of trial and error to see what their effect is on the market to optimize the decision making. But yes, ultimately you're right. I mean, there's always going to be a human element. Right now, what we have in the platform, the human element is still very present because we are still, I think, a couple of years away from having an autonomous pure artificial intelligence managed portfolio or strategy. And I mean pure, because to automate a strategy right now is fairly easy, right? But we don't just want to have an automated index or portfolio. We want to have artificial intelligence managing portfolios of tokens.
Oh, indeed. So just before we do close, if people want to find out more about Singularity DAO, or can they join the DAO?
they can join the DAO, absolutely.
How would they go about doing that?
Yeah, so on SingularityDAO.ai, that's our website integrated with our app where they can find all the information. We have several features. They can join our Dynasets, which are these strategies that are performing extremely well. They can participate to the Singularity Night ecosystem by supporting projects through our launchpad. They can swap their tokens with other tokens. They can stake and they can vote. So there's a lot of actions that they can take within the ecosystem. We are adding more and more artificial intelligence. We are doing more and more research. So I welcome everybody to come and join us.
Fantastic. And just before we do close, this is your 4th AIBC Summit. What so far has been the standout element in this year's show?
Well, I'm very excited to see Gary Vee on stage, to be honest.
Very soon.
Yeah, very soon, right after this. And I think the quality of the speakers in general this year, it's amazing. It's probably better than other editions that I've attended. So I'm very excited. Great projects, great crowd as usual. We are in a new venue as well. And yeah, fantastic. So so far so good.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, Marcello, for joining us here, and good luck with everything that's happening with SingularityDAO and Singularity Net. This, for AIBC, will be another great interview, and we're going to be back with some more amazing faces from the world of Web3, AI, blockchain, and more here at the AIBC Summit.